Okay. Boom, boom. So, this is a new episode. It's going to be especially good because I'm in charge. After the first episode, we asked for a lot of questions and got a lot of them. And one lovely lady sent me like a whole book worth of questions. And so I was reading them out to you, and we decided to just use all of her questions for an episode. A little overview of what's coming is getting over insecurity to trust in the relationship. And the next two are really about social pressure. And so we're really going to be going into social pressure and social media and how to be strong against all of that. Yeah?
Excited. Let's go.
Okay, so the first question.
Okay.
How the hell did you jump from feeling insecure and scared to lose him to have confidence and trust him after all? I know you mentioned reading books, etc., but is there something deeper?
Love the question. Well, that's for you, so I would love to hear you starting that.
Okay, so in brief, to take you back to where I was in that time, when we first started the relationship, I was actually in a very good place. I was very confident, focused on myself. Well, it's a mix. Like, I had been very broken from my previous relationship. My self-worth was very low, but I was on the up. I had broken up with that, and I was like, okay, this is my time. I'm going to focus on me. And then I met you.
You were dancing salsa, so you were feeling very feminine. You were embracing new side of you.
Yeah, I just started a business with some new people who were like my mentors. I was going to leave the country. I had a lot of new plans.
Yeah, you left a toxic relationship, and you also left a toxic job with a toxic boss. So in a way, you were like decided to work on yourself. You were empowered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I met you.
Yeah, so
Great
all
place
the best
to meet each
energy to meet you. And you were a dream. Like, you gave me so much love. All the love that I didn't even know was possible. All the love that like my baby Kenley craved. You just loved everything about me. You told me I was beautiful every day, that I was smart, and all of these things. So much to the extent that I was kind of worried that you were love bombing me. Actually, that connects to the social media stuff later. But I was like, this is too good to be true. Yeah,
That's funny. That's crazy because if I think about it, I was holding myself a little bit. So then the only explanation for that is that your ex left the bar really, really low.
So low. So low.
So thank you.
Yeah. So that was great. But then when we got to Panama, I was going through new changes with the business and other different things. And you started to have your own life there. And I started to get scared that maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was you had just fallen for me because I was exotic and different. Something in me kept thinking like, maybe he's gonna wake up and realize that I'm not as amazing as he's been saying all this time. Because even though I was on the up, I hadn't done the work yet on myself.
Was it because the way that you saw yourself, it was like low? Or is because you put me on the pedestal and then you saw me like this handsome guy and I'm such a different woman, like I'm not as pretty? Because you didn't think that you were super pretty. You always told me that you like your smile and you always got compliments for it, and then you don't know how, but all the guys were always liking you, but you didn't think that you were pretty.
Yeah, actually,
Which one?
100%. It's a mix. I think I felt strong when we were talking about business or traveling to the new country because that is my strength.
Right, or history or the world.
Yeah,
you're very
exactly.
educated and very smart.
But then when you started to build yourself on Instagram and things like that, I guess I started to see that, oh no, you're going to go in this world of
being the influencer
and these influencer girls and things like that. And that's not my realm. Like, that's out of my safety zone. And because, I was a chubby kid growing up. I had really bad acne and all this. So
you were an academic.
Yeah, I had decided really early on that it's okay. I'm never going to be the pretty one, but I have a great personality and I'm, going to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think, that's what worked when I met you. But then I started to be like, oh no, now he's going to realize that I'm not actually pretty. And, and so, and I'll say this a million times, but nothing that happens from a place of fear turns out well. Because I started to build that up, build that more insecurities. I just had fixated it in my mind that he's going to leave me. He's going to realize that I'm not that beautiful and he's going to leave. I was very, very sensitive because when you have a strong story in your mind, without realizing it, you make it true.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, and so I started to react badly anytime you said nice things. Like you said, I'm beautiful. I'd be like, no, I'm not. If you mentioned another girl, I would be like, oh, see, he's already fallen in love with someone else. Like, I don't know. I started to react really badly. Anyway,
But all of that was in your mind. You never shared these things with me.
Yeah.
I just saw you very sensitive, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. And so I call that my year of where I cried every day. And it's not like crying, but it was like little things. I was emotional and reactive.
Why didn't you share things with me?
I was super proud. A lot of times when I see Latinas and the stories there, I think it's more socially acceptable to be jealous.
That's true. It's very common in Latin America to hear stories about, oh, I went to his Instagram to just see because I felt that it was something and I found a conversation and he was cheating on me. That is very Latin America.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much in other countries.
I mean, I hear it in the U.S. too. The U.S. there's a lot of different cultures. But speaking from my culture, or I should say my mom, we're proud women. I definitely got this from my mom. She does not want to ever show that she wants attention or needs attention or feels insecure or jealous.
It's a sign of weakness.
Yeah, as a sign of weakness. So I was very proud, but it didn't mean that I didn't feel those things.
Yeah.
But the problem is, by closing myself off to those feelings, I wasn't able to accept it, process it, deal with it, do anything about it healthily. It always just boiled up into tears and fear.
And you're literally closing the door between us. Like that emotional connection is not there because you're not letting everything out, but also you're not letting everything in. So that was closed.
Yeah, no, it's not healthy. I think pride serves purposes, but in that situation, it was not healthy, and it built up to the point where, at one point, you really tried. Honestly, you really tried to lift me up. You were always trying to tell me I'm beautiful. It's funny, you were so nice to me all that time, and that didn't work. What worked was when you finally were like, Kenley, I am exhausted. I can't handle this anymore. I need my space. I feel like it's so heavy carrying your feelings all the time. Like I'm afraid of saying anything, of tiptoeing around your feelings, because anything I say is going to make you cry or be upset or feel hurt. I'm going to go back to Chile for 2 weeks. I already bought a ticket. I just need to get out. And I remember in that moment, I first took it badly. It was just the confirmation of what I knew all along. See, he's going to leave me. I knew he was going to do this. How can you do this to me? How can you abandon me? And then you said something. You said, why are you making this all about you? Do my feelings not matter at all? And I know that was said in the heat of the moment, but somehow that got through to me. And I realized, oh, that's true. I never thought once about how you felt. I think that's the moment I realized I had been the toxic one. I was toxic because of my insecurities. I didn't realize it. I was just there feeling sorry for myself. But in feeling sorry for myself, I was sucking your energy, being a burden all the time. I was kind of discouraging you from opportunities because I was scared of losing you. Like, I was being a horrible partner because of my fear. And so that was the turning point. That night, I called my best friend and I told her all of this. And she was like, she's a gift because she was like, girl, I want to get away from my partner all the time. Like, I still love him, but sometimes I just need my space. And that helped me to see it from your point of view, that it wasn't like you hated me, that I was a failure of a person. Sometimes as humans, we just need space. And
failure of a person. You're so dramatic, so hard to yourself, love. You could just say maybe he thought that I was not as pretty, but it's like a failure of a person.
Yeah. That's why you build it up so much.
That shows how far you can go with your thoughts.
Yeah,
how negative they can be if you feed them every day. Where if you just address them the very same day that you felt something, like, no, actually, I don't feel that we're gonna have troubles if I go in this path of influencer. because it's thanks to you that I'm in this path in the first place, because you helped me to travel, to think about entrepreneurship. You are being an entrepreneur. Like, there's so many ways that we can just turn that little thing into, a confirmation of why we're together. But if you choose to feed it with fear and doubt, it's going to become like a huge monster.
Yeah. And also having enough self-worth that even if you chose not to be with me, it'd be like, okay, he wanted different things.
Yeah.
But I saw it as my whole worth in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, if you were gonna leave, I had failed.
So you have that conversation with your friend.
And she recommended the book, The Mastery of Love. And that started this whole journey for me. And she was like, it's an easy book. It's 2 hours audiobook or something. And so I got it, and I was listening to it in the rain, walking, and it was so dramatic, like a movie. But it was just what I needed, because The Mastery of Love is a really good, healthy book for love. And it's written by the same author of The 4 Agreements. And it just really shows you that our happiness is our own responsibility. It's not the other person's. We, in relationships, tend to put our happiness in the hands of someone else. And then if they drop it, we're destroyed. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility, and we need to take care of it. And so that started my journey. It still took a long time.
Yeah, it's not that you went from being insecure to confident just because of that book overnight. I will say that it's still work in progress.
Yeah, for life.
You're just better at it.
Yeah, but I did it very intensely. And that's the thing. I remember for the 4 years after that, I felt like I had taken a whole degree in
relationships.
Self-confidence and getting over fear. I started this, I called it my fear journal. And I started to read books, I started to listen to podcasts, I started to do exercises, to actually writing out what are the things that I'm afraid of. And that was, I think, probably the first time I actually wrote, I'm afraid of him leaving me. I'm afraid of this. I didn't feel the progress right away, but eventually when we actually separated, I consider that one of my graduation moments, because all of the work that I had been doing, when we separated, I was like, okay, fine, this is me. I even knew, this is my time to let it all really sink in.
But when we had that time apart, that was 5 years later from the story that you're sharing. And I want to go back to that time, because you still had a little breakthrough by yourself when you stayed in Panama and I went to Chile in those 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And when I came back, you were so ready to have a conversation with me. Yeah, you were crossed legs in bed. You have toilet paper or something because you were still crying. Probably you were preparing yourself for having this conversation. And I will never forget that you were the one. I love this. You shared with me first that you understood why I left, and you made me feel that you thought about me, like my feelings, like I was asking you to do it before. So then I felt like you understood what was missing in that conversation before. But then after that, you follow up immediately with your requests and the things that you are proud of yourself and what are you bringing to the table. And I think that was perfect and that was so necessary. You said, I am here, giving you this chance for you to explore your entrepreneurial career. I'm not asking you to pay for anything. I'm here working on this new business for you to just find yourself. I don't know if another woman will give you that, right? So you knew what you were bringing to the table. And you shared that with me as a sign of, I know why I'm confident. I don't need your compliments. I still like them, but I don't need your compliments to feel confident. And that was powerful, because I felt that you were ready to keep moving together. Because if you stay in the same place, having your doubts, me coming back, for me, will be just a confirmation that we're not in the right time for us to be together, and the right vibration. That is what you call doing the work. Because every time we said you have to do the work, what is that? That was a clear way of you doing the work.
Yeah, I'm so proud of that moment. It was actually before you left, because I remember from the day that you said that you were leaving, you were going to leave in 4 days. And once I set that intention, so many things came to me. Each day was a new breakthrough until that last night before you left. And that's why I think it's so important to really, you just need to set your intention, and the universe will give you what you need.
What was your intention?
To figure out how to love myself. Actually at that point, how to just stop being insecure. And the universe, first it gave me that book, then it gave me friends, and then it gave me male attention, actually, that was like, oh, okay, Like, not that you want to need other validation, but it was all building up to that point that I remember that it was a shift. I went from feeling bad to suddenly being like, wait, I'm amazing. I know why you're with me. But I hadn't seen it before. The whole time I was focused on this one thing of beauty, I had forgotten all the other wonderful things that I offer in a relationship. So it's a journey. It's still in process. I've had a lot of different stages, but it all started with that intention. And knowing that being insecure was actually toxic. It was hurting the person that I loved. It was pushing you away. It was doing exactly what I was fearing. And so I needed to change my mindset. And I went all in on trying to figure out how to solve that. So,
let's say you're in a scenario where your partner wasn't as open to wanting to work on this.
Yeah.
I was trying to help you, right? Collaborate. What if you are with the dude that you like this guy a lot and you see this guy making you feel insecure with his action? Let's say this friend that texted you the question, he's dating someone. I don't know if she's dating. Let's assume she is. And this guy is going party with other friends and connecting with other girls, and he follows other girls on Instagram. Let's say you are in that spot. How do you deal with insecurity?
yeah, I was very blessed because you are a good guy. So that helped. Let me think about this.
In your previous relationship,
Yeah.
I remember that you shared with me that he was reaching out to other girls.
Yeah.
And you knew.
That's the one time that I did check some of my partner's messages and saw, that he was talking to these girls. It's so funny. I think women, we really know. We do know. And so if you do feel insecurity to the point where you want to check their messages, I don't recommend looking at someone's messages. I think we do need to respect privacy. But if you feel a burning desire to,
You're probably right.
you're probably right. So you should bring it up. If you're with someone that makes you feel more insecure, then
I like that. Very clear, simple answer. If you're with someone that makes you feel insecure because of what this person is doing, then you should question this person, not yourself.
it's still, everything comes with us. Why do I want to be with someone that's doing that? Hold on. This is big.
Yeah.
I'm going back in time to when I was in that relationship, and I think it is, just like we talked about in the last episode, it's so important to share these things because you can see how the person reacts. Because if I shared things with you that I felt insecure, and I never wanted to put rules on you. I didn't want to say, oh, you can't talk to those other girls. But if I shared with you how I felt and saw how you responded, did you
Care about your feelings.
Yeah. Did you care about my feelings, or would you just be defensive and like, what's wrong with you? Like putting me down for having those feelings? That you'll see in someone's actions,
Right.
how they respond to that. Oof.
Maybe some women are scared of sharing these feelings because they think that's going to scare the guy away by just being, I don't know if jealous is the question. We're just uncertain. And as human beings, we want to know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
But you think that that's going to scare them away, so then you don't ask. And then you start becoming like in a stuck mode.
But actually, when you said that, it made me realize, at least stereotypically, what I see for Latinas is that they'll be like forcing them, look here, look at me, focus on me. Like they demand it. It's the opposite of me. I was afraid to ask for it. But I think on the other hand, sometimes girls will demand it and the guys just learn to fake it. They learn to hide their phones, or they learn to, make you feel bad. And so sitting down and intentionally sharing how you feel, not just like, yeah, but like, look at me. Horrible. That's like training a dog. Horrible relationship. But sitting intentionally and sharing how you feel with this, hoping to get something better as a team, and also working on yourself all the time. Because honestly, if you really, 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 really love yourself, you won't put yourself in those situations where you're doubt. Like, I know if I was starting over now, fresh in a relationship, I would not put up with the situationships. I would not put up with someone who I don't feel is sure about me. just because my self-worth is so strong now. And I have stuff to do. I have my career, I have my goals and my plans. I'm not going to allow myself to be with someone who would suck away my energy, because if I'm worrying about you and what you're doing, who you're talking to, that's taking away from my dreams and my plans. And that comes from building up my self-worth, building my own sense of purpose in this life. Then you naturally just don't put up with bullshit.
But what do you think about the women that are afraid of sharing these things because it's going to scare the guy away? If I say that I don't feel comfortable by him liking her post or whatever the case, they're going to be like, I don't need a jealous partner. Goodbye. So they're afraid of sharing.
Yeah, I think it's the approach. For me, it's always been important that I respect your freedom and your individual responsibility. But now I've learned that I also respect my own goals and dreams and desires. If I saw you following a lot of girls and things like that, maybe I would sit down and bring it up with you. But I think the strongest thing that I can do is the fact that I am so focused on that I want to build something great in this life, that if I saw you doing that and we were just dating, I would be like, gross. I don't want to be with a guy that does that. And I would just lose interest in you. I think a lot of women, we see this, but I think it's a mark of pride that we need to change him. We need to fix him. We need him to stop being attracted to all those other girls and focus on me. We see it as a challenge.
Right. And especially if you're a strong woman with ambition, and if you are early stage in the relationship, right? Because everything is about circumstances. So if you're at the beginning of the relationship, less than a year or maybe 1 year, having that mindset that you just described, I think is beautiful. But what happens if you've been together like for 4 years or 3 years? It's hard for you to think, oh, that's gross. Like, I'm just going to find my own way. You want to make sure that at least there's a chance for him to change, because there's a reason why you chose him. So then you bring it up, right? You establish these moments of full conversations, full honesty conversation.
Yeah, but I still think it comes down to having a bigger goal, having a bigger purpose. Because it's not just, I don't want you to look at other girls and only look at me. It's like, I really want to be with a great man. I want to be building something, growing something. And if you're just wasting your energy on social media like that, you get what you put out into this world. If that's what you're liking, that's what you're feeding your algorithm, your brain with, we're not going to get anywhere.
Why do you think that women are afraid of losing that guy? What is that guy doing to their life that they become so obsessed with this one guy and they don't want to lose him, and they think that he's the best? Or even if they don't think he's the best, they think that they're not going to find something better.
At the end of the day, I don't think it has anything to do with that guy. Like, sometimes they're horrible guys. It's actually not that they're good. It's our own sense of pride and our own sense of self-worth. Like, there's a lot of worth in knowing that you got the man. I think this is in our genes, our DNA. And especially even more if you have pressure from your family that you should be in a relationship, you should be married, you should have kids. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of factors that feed that fear.
You're not as open to failure. You're not as open. That's where I've been mostly lucky that I didn't have that pressure. I didn't feel it. But even then, I'm very proud, so I didn't want to lose. Like, I know with my ex, I knew it was wrong, but I was so proud that I thought I could change him. Like, I took everything as a challenge. Oh, I can get better. I can make this work.
Right.
Actually, all of my most ambitious, strongest, kick-ass female friends have had the worst relationships, like the most toxic ones. And I think it's because of that pride. We don't want to lose. We want to feel like we conquered.
I see. So they see the breakup as a sign of failure. Therefore, they resist to that, and they just want to push until it works.
Yeah, the breakup or the distraction or whatever. It's like, no, you're going to focus on me. Because that is the ultimate. It is true. It is the ultimate feeling, to feel how much you love me and that you're focused on me. That's a dream. The thing is that we can't force it. You can't force someone to have your attention. It's actually the opposite. You have to let go and not care and just be so focused on yourself. And that's when it comes.
What if you have a kid? I can understand women with a kid that they think that getting the father back to the relationship is the only way or is the best way for the kid. I know it's tough for you because you don't have
I'm
kids.
not in that situation.
But I love how empathetic you are, so I'm sure you're going to have an opinion about that.
I mean, definitely more complicated, but I think it's the same. The answer is always we need to focus on ourselves. We need to be the strongest, best versions of ourselves. And when we nag, we're like, oh, why are you doing this? And come back, or like, oh, I'm so exhausted. Why do you suck as a husband? Like,
Or
that,
crying and complaining with friends.
yeah.
When I got massages or like the physiotherapy in Mexico, I got three different ladies. And the three different ladies have a different bad story with their partner. And it was always the same. Guys cheating on them, and they were just vomiting all this information about the relationship to me, but never to them. And they
To
were
their partner.
to their partner.
If you have a problem, talk to the source of the problem. Especially don't talk to other people of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't know their interests.
you don't know. Yeah, if I go to other guys to talk badly about you, that's like the worst insult.
That's true.
And they're gonna give flawed advice.
Yeah.
They're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna say something?
That I do have a male friend that he was in a relationship, and every time that something happened in their relationship, he will go and spend time with his female friend, and he always told me, no, she's just a friend, like she loves me as a friend, and we knew that this female friend was in love with this guy. So then of course we think, but then every time that my friend went to spend time and complain and share, I come here with this situation with my partner and I've been thinking about it. Like, what do you think, female friend? And then the female friend will be like, yeah, you're totally right. She shouldn't do that. Like, she needs to give you this and that. And like, you're doing, everything that you're doing is fine.
Yeah.
So then you only have one point of view from someone that basically wants you to break up because you want to, she wants you with her.
And even if that's not the case, even going to your guy friends, the issue is the act of complaining. The act of saying like, bro, like, oh, my wife's so annoying, or my girlfriend keeps doing this.
Right,
No.
or looking for validation. Like, this is why I'm distracted, man, because my wife is here and there. You're just looking for validation.
Yeah.
Instead of sharing it to your brotherhood and say, this is what's going on in my relationship, man. Any of you have any advice or point of view? Because I'm trying to figure it out, right? Trying to solve it.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's really, if you have problems, it's so important to go to the source of the problem or the issue. Go to your partner. Don't go to other people. If you go to other people, pick really well and go with the intention of solving, not complaining, validating yourself. Complaining is telling your brain that you're doing something about a problem without doing anything about it.
Right.
So it feels good.
And there's nothing you can do if you're complaining. My wife is like this. There's nothing you can do by complaining about it. You just need to want to do something about it. So there's the mindset. Is the victim mindset that this is happening to me?
Yes.
Or this is the warrior mindset that this is happening for me. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with this situation.
Exactly. Yes, that's totally right. It's the victim mindset. I think the fastest way to fix your life, to fix your relationships, fix everything is stop complaining entirely. Never ever complain.
Yeah.
Only bring things up if you're actively seeking a solution.
I love that.
Okay, I think we're done on that. I don't know if I answered your question about for if you have a kid.
You did.
Yeah?
No, if you...
That's it. Stop
That's
complaining.
it? Yeah.
That's my answer. Okay, next question.
And I will add the same thing that I told those 3 physiotherapists in Mexico. Don't be afraid of losing or leaving a bad man, because think about it. You want a bad guy back to the relationship so you can have a happy family. He's not going to be a good father. He's already not being a good father by not honoring you as his partner, his wife, or the mother of his kid. So you don't want that guy in your life. So focus on yourself, like you said. And something beautiful happened when a woman focused on herself. So I love the stop complaining, focus on yourself, focus on blossoming. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so social pressure. How did you manage the social pressure in both cultures, maybe about the age, marriage, kids, where you're going to settle down? What made you both stronger than the pressure? I mention this because as a Latina, I feel so pressured by those topics in my social circle, my family and friends, like I'm late for everything. Ugh. I like this a lot.
Yeah. Everybody will have an opinion about how you should live your life, especially your family and the people that are close to you. Makes sense because they love you, they raise you. We didn't experience that, not really, because you and me were both very proud and very freedom oriented. So I never did anything based on pressure. I'm very lucky and blessed that my family, especially my mom and dad, never pressured me to do anything. They never pressured me to go to college. They never pressured me to get a good relationship or to do anything. They just loved me and encouraged me. And that's the best thing that you can ask as a son. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think right before we separated, you were starting to get a lot of pressure from people. Like, people kept mentioning, like, oh, when are you going to propose? When are you going to propose?
Yes.
And I think you have this natural reaction of, like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Because the thing is, from the beginning, I was very direct and I knew what I wanted with you. I was so all in from the very beginning. I never play games with you. I never make you feel that I was, trying different women before I was going to pick you. Like, you felt the chosen one from the very beginning because that's what I did. I chose you. But after 5 years of choosing you, then you start having the social pressure from, it wasn't even from my family, that's the thing. We were having like a brunch in our home in Santiago at the time. And then my brother's ex was the one who was asking me, Juanjo, when are you going to propose? Like, it's been 5 years. She probably had that influence from her family, so she was just projecting what she thought that should happen to my life, and I didn't like that. So of course my reaction is going to be, we all know, like I don't need to follow anything. And at the time I was thinking the thing that we talked about in the last episode about marriage. We didn't think that it was something necessary. So I had that kind of mindset. I was not that close to God at the time either. So I wasn't in a good space, but I knew that I didn't want to just react to what you should be doing in a relationship. That's number one. Because the moment that I start doing what I'm supposed to do, I think I lose my freedom. I think I betray myself. I think I'm not really living my life. Like, man, who is in charge? I'm in charge of my life. I don't care what you think about relationships. You want to share with me why you did this? Awesome, please do. And if I like you and if I respect you, I will pay attention to your story.
But have you always been able to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I get
so
fired up.
Let's talk to someone who struggled more with this.
But this is the other version of the life that you could be living.
That's the goal. You are the goal.
I don't know if this is the goal, but like it's another path. You have that path, I'm presenting this path to you, and it's an awesome path if you want to take it. But let's go to the other path when you react to people's opinion about your life and your relationship.
And that's actually one of the main reasons why I'm with you and why I love you, like I respect you so much, is because you're always so strong in the face of those pressures. Like you always stick to your values. I love it. So for me, I will say again, I didn't have too much pressure around marriage. I'm grateful for that. And I think, it's so funny. I've been reflecting on this lately. All the things that I didn't have pressure in and that I had no expectations of are the things that I've succeeded in.
Interesting. Say more.
And the things that I did have expectations for are the things that I've messed myself up on.
Okay.
And so, for example, like relationship, I never wanted to have a boyfriend. It was never a goal. I actually thought he would cramp my style. No one knew. For my first year with my first boyfriend, we didn't tell anyone.
That's crazy. So you never had this problem of people asking you, Kenley, come on, girl, like you are 30-something, you should have a man.
Yeah.
Or Kenley, you're dating with this guy. Is this serious? Where you like you never had that, which is very Latin American.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you start dating one guy, after 1 year, it's like, have he talked about marriage yet? Does he want kids? What is he studying? What is his job?
Well, so there's a mix of things. I think that it definitely exists in Chinese culture and American culture as well. It's just one, I've always been, I left at 17, so I was far away from friends and family. So I didn't have many people that were putting that pressure on me. And I think I just genuinely didn't think it was a priority. So I didn't respond. Like, maybe people commented on it, but I just brushed it off. I didn't care. And again, like, I didn't expect to be pretty or fit. So I didn't have any expectations on my body, and now it's like one of the things I'm most proud of. But the things that I did have expectations, like my career, like that is something that I'll admit I still battle with, because I feel like I should have achieved more career-wise and financially-wise than I have at this point. Like I do compare myself to people from my high school and college and things like that. And in this moment, no, I'm feeling really good, but until like 2 months ago. So I'll just say I'm still dealing with it. And so I know that fear doesn't help you get there any faster. That's the biggest thing, because when we put expectations and we live with that should, I mean, I think should is the most evil word in the whole English language, because there's nothing positive about it. You should get married by 30 or 35. Like, that automatically imposes this idea that there is an ideal in this world and that you're failing. Yeah. And there is no ideal. And that is a completely flawed idea, just to begin with. And then on top of that, like what is the alternative? If you give in to that fear, it'll lead you down a wrong path. Like, what does that mean? You'll just marry the first guy you meet. That's focusing the priorities on the wrong place. Who cares about age? What matters is you find a good person.
I like that. In a way, it forces you to be a strong woman, because you have to stay strong to all of those opinions about your life from your family, especially in Latin America. The family has a lot of access to your personal life all the time. So in a way that forces you to, one, if you don't like that, you can escape from that environment, which is scary.
Create distance.
Yeah, I love that. Very positive. Yeah, you can create distance by choosing a different city, or even bigger, you can choose a different country.
Move across the world.
And then nobody will have an opinion about what you're doing. Or at least you're not going to have to live with that on a daily basis. Or second, if you really like to live with your family, that forces you to stay strong. And imagine that you can walk into a room full of relatives, and then they know that they don't dare to ask you, what are you doing with your relationship? Because they know how strong you are, they know your values, they know what you think. And the only way to do that is to stay strong and maybe say it once to the people that are asking you. Because the reason that they keep telling you this is because maybe you haven't drawn a strong line, like, mom, dad, uncle, cousin, I already talked to you about this. I don't want to hear it. Goodbye.
You're the perfect example. You are the toughest person I know when it comes to these things. You really set boundaries like a mofo. Like, you really are strong on that. I will say, from my perspective, I aspire to get to your level of strength. But what's worked, and I'm strong in my own way. And I think what's worked for me to get to that level is that it's hard to defend yourself when you don't know what your self is.
Yes.
And so if you're getting all these opinions...
When you don't know what you want.
When you don't know what you want. Like, when you're getting all these opinions from other people, it's hard not to take it, because you don't have something. And so what I found for me is that for my career thing, that I need to know what I want and then practice being proud of that. So every day I write in the morning, I write something I'm grateful for, something I'm proud of myself for, and something I want. Using that practice has really helped me to develop that strength, that core. For example, if I were feeling the pressure about marriage, I would write, I'm proud of myself for not just dating whoever. I'm proud of myself for taking my time. I'm proud of myself for honoring myself and being only in relationships that are good for me. You know, and then in the want section, I might say, I want a healthy relationship where I'm loved with a man who's loyal, who loves and respects me, all those things. And the stronger you have that, what your core is, the easier it is to rebut. And they're like, oh, why are you not married? No one's meeting this criteria.
Like, there's so many ways to answer that question. Like, the first one will be, why do you care? Like, honestly, genuinely, why? Or if you want to be that confrontational, okay, let's be more positive.
Yeah.
You can answer. You can say.
But that's an example of what you would do.
Yeah, but you could say more nicely. Why are you asking? So to know, why are you actually asking me this question? Is this a judgment, or you actually want to know? So then you will know you will know how to actually engage with that conversation. Because in the past I was so fired up by this, so I was kind of like prepared for the answer, and I was just sharing this answer with people that they really didn't care. They were just judging me with their question. So then I save so much energy and time by explaining myself, by just having this one filter from every single interaction that I have that was questioning my life. Why do you want to know? And then from them, we know if it's worth my time sharing with you these things.
Okay, but if it's your mom and she's like, I'm worried that I'm never gonna see grandbabies.
Oh yeah, great. You're worried about that? Don't worry. I have a plan. You want to hear the plan? Great. Here's my strategy.
Yeah.
And this is how you can actually help me.
Yeah, well, and you can say, okay, mom, I know that's your concern, but would you rather me be a single mom with a shitty husband that cheats on me and leaves? Like, no, you want me to be with a good relationship where I'm loved. That's going to take time.
I do believe that parents and relatives, people that love you, they care when they know or when they think that you are lost. So there was a time when my mom, I can feel that she was worried about my decision because she didn't feel that I was super certain about us. And she was right, I wasn't. So family always know. In a way, see that as a positive trigger for you to sit down and think about what is it that you want.
That's true. Since I didn't care about that, if people ask me, I don't even remember because it just wasn't a thing.
Right.
If it is affecting you, then maybe it is a sign that it is something you want to have a plan for or to be prioritizing. It is worth knowing what you want.
Yeah, and I think it's connected with the third question, which I think I want to address that, if you can read it, the social media
so
one.
social media, the likes one or the one about other people's opinions?
Other people's opinion.
The question was, sorry, it's a long paragraph. I'm trying to condense it.
Thank you.
For example, on social media, you'll see like a reel where it says, oh, if he hasn't proposed in 2 years, bye, like he's not serious. And you'll have all these comments on it that are like, yeah, I should have known. It can build up in social media that this is truth. And, all these people believe this. And so the question is really, how do you know how to follow what works for you and not follow all the advice from social media?
Yeah, I love that. There's a video that I thought it was very funny. There's a 50-year-old lady, and she grabs the phone with the selfie video and says, all men are the same, so make sure that you find a guy with money. And so many shares, likes, and comments agreeing with that. That tells, what does that tell us?
Yeah.
That the experience of this lady now is true for millions of other women. And it's something that this is nothing new. You hear this comment from so many other women that they say that every man is the same. So if you grow up thinking that every man is the same and eventually he's going to cheat on you, at least find a guy with money so then you can cry with...
cry with your $100 bills. Yeah.
Exactly. Coming back to what we were talking before about your self-worth.
Yeah, wait, but first on that, I have never followed that advice. I have never followed the money. And personally, I am very happy with that. Please, continue.
You just call me poor in front of everybody. I love
it. When I met you.
Okay, so then you are all of a sudden worried and stressed and anxious because everyone in social media, or at least in your feed, because never forget that you are the one building your feed. So the feed is just giving you what you're consuming.
Yeah.
So it means that that's what you're consuming right now. It's not truth, it's just what you're consuming today. That can change. But let's say that's what you're consuming and you start feeling that you are dating this guy and it's been 2 years and then he hasn't proposed. And then you see everywhere else that is a red flag because he's not serious. You have two ways of seeing that, or two ways of addressing this situation. One, if you believe in what they say and you start questioning your whole relationship and you start building this idea in your mind that he's not the one, he probably has another girl, and so, which is what you did when you were just started dating, right? You build it up in your mind instead of coming to me and share it. The other path is that you go to your partner and then you ask them, is this going to be a serious relationship? What are your intentions? So then it's going to be positive because the guy will have to be honest with you and you will know if he's the guy or not. So you will feel relief. I feel that most women don't want to ask, maybe because they don't want to put pressure, because maybe it's too soon, maybe because they don't want to scare him away. Like, don't do that. Just share this openly with the guy. One thing that I was actually thinking this morning on my run is that if you're consuming all the time, you're not spending time with your own thoughts. You're just hearing this and you're asking yourself, whoa, wow, am I doing things wrong? Instead of just taking the time for you to build what you want. So how do you do that as a woman or as a human? It doesn't have to be a woman, like also a guy. Spend time by yourself first. Ask yourself these questions. What do you want from a relationship? What do you want from a partner? Read books. Like you recommended 2 amazing books, The Mastery of Love, The 4 Agreements. And then you start building new thoughts, your own thoughts with this advice and stories that you got from books. You want someone to talk about these things? Find someone that you respect and that you like their lives. Are you listening from the people who are frustrated at guys because they did have a bad relationship and now they're all broken inside and they're just complaining and they're just hearing their projection, and now all of a sudden you are joining their team of frustrated women? Block that and find someone that you like. Oh, I really like this woman. I love her. I respect her. She has a nice relationship. Let me talk to her. Do all of that, and I promise you, you will have your truth as a woman. And then it will be easier for you. You don't need to read anything, any manual, like what is a red flag and what's not. You will know. This is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. That's why I'm so precious. Nobody can question that. That's me. And therefore, this is what I want from a man. Yes, you might scare a lot of guys away, but that's a good thing by sharing what you want, because most women might think, but I don't want to share all my requests from the beginning. I don't want to ask what I want. No, you do want to do that, because the guys that are not serious, they're just going to go run away. But the guy that actually wants you, he will take that as a challenge. Like, oh, really? That's what you want? Okay. I'm going to prove to you that I can be that man. That's the guy you want.
Though I'll say, okay, first, so valuable. I loved all of that, and I want to go on, it was amazing. But I do want to say something on that last part of like going in with knowing exactly what you want. Yes, to some extent, but I am hearing more and more of these women that are like, he needs to have this, 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 he needs to have this in his bank account, he needs to have this. I think that's also quite limited too, and I kills a lot of the fun of the exploration. So I'd say pick your core values, like what are my essential things that I want in my partner, and then be open to the rest. And not so many material things, maybe core on how you want to be treated and
that is open to growth.
Yeah, the values that you share. And then
I love that.
Be more open on the rest of it.
Yeah, because even from the beginning, it's not that I had everything on your list. There were so many things about me that maybe you didn't like. I mean, I know that there's so many things that you didn't like or respect, but you saw potential and you saw those values align with yours, and you're right, that's all you need to start.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can fall into, waiting forever for this guy to show up with all of these things.
And being too superficial, too fixed mindset.
Well, I guess that's why I think it's important for you to take time for yourself to think about these things, because all of those material things, they're definitely coming from the outside. They're not really from you. I haven't met a girl that has told me, for me, having an amazing house full of jewelry and a big closet is something that I need from a man. It's weird to hear that from a woman that has done the work. Usually it's because they saw it in a movie, or because, their family is rich and they want to match that. But like a genuine desire to find a guy who can provide that is not very genuine, I will say.
Yeah,
I can be wrong, but I don't think, because anything that comes from within, I don't think is even material.
That's true. So back to your advice, I completely agree on the silence. That was the main thing that I was going to say myself. There's so much noise in this world today, and it's become acceptable to just always allowing it in. But we really need to find that balance, because how are you going to hear your thoughts if you're hearing everyone else's thoughts all the time? You need to disconnect. I think there's value in social media. I'm glad sometimes these things pop up. It helps you question.
This is why we're actually doing this podcast, because we got the question through social media, and she found us through social media, which it validates your point. You can use social media to grow.
Exactly. I think that's why we like this long podcast format rather than getting the question as a sticker and then immediately having an opinion. I mean, that's what is so big these days, that people just jump to have opinions, and it's so important to take something, sit with it silently, separately, and digest it.
Right.
Let it see, and maybe question it, read something about it, think about it, and then you'll come to your answers.
And we're not talking about days here or weeks. I see this time that we're referring to as a year, half a year. Why? I like, JJ, you're crazy? No, I love this concept of decision that you're making has to be directly connected with the time that you're going to be enjoying the benefits of that decision. For example, if you're going to choose a guy to build a relationship with, that relationship can last for years, maybe
Ideally,
forever,
yeah.
right? So if you want to spend 5 days thinking about this, you think is really enough for a decision that it might last for years, you want to spend more time with it. If you just think it for a few days, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
And it could be easily questioned. But if you thought about it for a long time, like that year apart that we had, that was the best turning point for you and for me. But especially for you, when it comes to jumping from being insecure to super confident, you just spend a whole year loving yourself and questioning everything and reading and nurturing yourself and having experiences and meeting new people and being alone. So of course the end result of that is what you call your graduation, because you did the work. You don't study for a 5 days degree, right? You study for years degree.
Yeah.
Same thing. And it should
Actually-
be even more if it's your life and your relationship.
Yeah, I appreciate that you brought that up, because that's the thing I'm so proud of myself for that year, is that I used it in such a healthy way. In my opinion, that I really sought to be alone. I didn't try to fill it with other people. Initially, I allowed some interaction because it was the thing, but very quickly I saw this is not what I want. I need to be by myself.
I love
don't
that.
want to fill it with some other guy, because I do give a lot of energy in relationships with friends, anything. If I'm with you, I will give you my attention and my energy. And I knew that energy had to be on myself. And I actively sat by myself, like turned down invitations to go out to just sit by myself.
I love that you're so strong and committed to your own growth, because that's the only reason that I can find why you turned down all of those invitations, because you were lonely, you were in pain, you were suffering. It's so tempting to have people interested in giving you attention.
Yeah.
I think that what you did is precious, is very unique. Very few women will do it. Very few women has the strength and the courage to dedicate that time for themselves.
I mean, I did get attention. I enjoyed that a lot. But I just made sure that I wasn't dependent on it. So, I mean, because the attention was actually very healing as well. It showed me different sides of me being celebrated. I was like, I'm going to enjoy this, but it's just a course in my study. I don't know. I just knew what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And so, absolutely, with social media, it's so important to limit our consumption. It's plain and simple. We should not be hearing other people's opinions all the time. Like, if you think traditionally before social media, you would be working, you'd be doing your things, and maybe in the evening you go to the bar and you talk to people and get their opinions. But most of the time throughout the day, you would be working, you'd be alone, you'd be walking, and I don't know how far you go back, you'd be farming. You're not hearing stuff, noise all the time.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the power of not being able to control your impulse to open social media. It's so powerful, and I feel it. I've been there when sometimes, you know, I have like 5 minutes and I will just open social media, and then you realize, why am I opening this? It's just because it's a habit. So be aware of the habit and start to control that, because you will know how peaceful it is to have your phone not making you react. Like your phone is telling you, hey, give me attention, notification, somebody comment this, somebody send you a message. And we feel the urge to just go and check it out immediately.
And then have an opinion. You see a post and you have to comment, or you have to share, or you have to...
You know, I started to believe that, and we felt this, we receive what we give. So if you're giving constant opinion in other people's posts in life, you're just gonna get the same thing.
Yeah, I think one of the keys to accepting yourself in your own journey is to stop having opinions of other people's journeys.
That's the fastest ways to stop that cycle. I love being in Japan, to be honest, because of the time zone difference. Is that I don't have the immediate message, because everything is happening in the Western world. So then when they write to me, I'm usually asleep. And I choose when to open my phone, and then I interact, and it's been life-changing. One of the biggest reasons why I'm so happy, besides being a happy husband going to the gym, is that I lower my amount of interaction with my phone drastically. I will say more than 50%. And that is, oh my God, it feels so liberating. It's like living a different life. And I see how many people live with their phones. I mean, even here in Japan,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
In
I'm
the
the
gym.
only guy on the street walking without a phone. Everyone else like with their headphone and just looking at the screen. It's
On the subway, in the gym,
everywhere. It's crazy.
So funny. This lady at the gym was doing her exercises and like
Yeah.
doing this.
Remember, there was a
and it
guy.
like-
There was a guy who put the phone on the app machine, and he was like watching the video. It's like, dude, are you really watching anime like that? What a disrespect to the artist. Anyway.
But yeah, it's been the same for me. I struggle with it a lot more. I have a very addictive nature, and I always go to it. So I've asked you for help a lot of times. You helped me build the habit. We put our phones on airplane mode when we go to bed, and then I get up and I actually have some music and affirmations downloaded on YouTube. So I don't even turn on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I don't get any messages. I can't open Instagram, and I can just play music or my affirmations and start getting ready. And I even journal now beforehand. It's like at least 2 hours until I see my phone.
Yeah.
And that is a game changer. The
It is.
days that I wake up and I open my phone immediately, I am so scattered the whole day.
Yeah.
Like I forget
Your
what I'm
energy
doing.
is different. I feel it when I come home.
Yeah.
You are in a worry energy. You saw something,
Yeah.
and then maybe you're comparing yourself, or you're thinking, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
None of that happened before you open your phone. So a message for this friend is just don't use social media as much, and then immediately you will reduce the amount of stress and
that you have
and then
to
thought that you think that you have to have right now, and just deal with the one you have. I'm sure there are plenty.
Yeah.
Like it's 1:45 p.m. and I haven't opened my phone, and it's probably gonna stay like that until like 5 p.m. after we finish recording this, then putting things away, having breakfast, and then edit it. And it feels amazing to be able to feel that I'm in control of the social media world, which is not reality. So please put a limit to your phone consumption, and you will see your anxiety and your doubts going down automatically.
Yeah, I really love your relationship with it because you never pick it up randomly. Sometimes after dinner, you sit and then it's like, okay, Instagram time, and you open it and you're just like laughing at the stupidest stuff. So loud, but you're so happy, and then okay, you're done, and you put it away, and that's it. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
for that.
this is discipline.
Yes,
It's applying a different feel, because when people think about discipline, it's like, oh, the gym. Like, no, discipline you can apply to so many things in life, and it's freedom.
Yeah.
It's true freedom, because you are the one in charge. You set the boundaries, and then you're just ruled by your own rules.
So to end this episode, because I think most of this episode we've been kind of talking to women, I guess because these questions came from a woman. But in case we have men that have gotten this far, I'd really like your thoughts on social media. And there were stages where you were following a lot of fit girls and things like that. And I've seen you kind of purge and things like that. What's been your thought process behind that? Yeah.
You know when something is wrong with you as a man. I don't remember really when I was following a lot of girls. Let me try to put myself in that space, even if I know I don't fully remember.
And it was never like a ton, because I've had guys ask for my Instagram and they pop it up, open the explore page, and you just see like boobs, like the whole thing. You've never been there, but you'd follow a couple of fit girls and things like that.
I think it's when in Keto Fit Academy, and I was following fitness guy and girls for inspiration ideas for the videos. But of course, my eyes were gravitating to the girls. It was a distraction, and it was draining my energy. And all of a sudden, I would just spend like half an hour checking the profile of this girl, and then watching her stories and her pictures, and doing zoom-ins and the important parts. And it's like watching porn, really. That's how I start seeing it. It's like I'm watching porn, and I'm in a relationship, and I'm looking at other girls. And for you, it might feel like it's not a big deal because there's nothing. You're just, seeing other girls. It's your phone, it's your privacy. But that's where integrity begins. And if you start aligning what you do with what you say and what you think, then you just start feeling naturally released from all of those distractions, meaning you're more focused on your purpose. So if you're feeling lost today as a man, if you're feeling distracted, just pay attention to those little details that you do every day that you think they're not a big deal. They are. I like to ask myself this: if You are with a dude friend. How much of your life will you share with this friend? Can you share 80% of what you're doing with your life? Or can you only share like 20%? The lower you can share, the more critical you need to pay attention to your life, because there is a reason why you're not sharing that. It's probably because you're doing something that you know is wrong. It's embarrassing yourself. If you can share 80% of your life, that's awesome. Like you can be super transparent, meaning you're closer to integrity. So that is a good question I like to ask myself to see my level of integrity. With social media, likes, comments to other girls, I never done that, honestly. I never sent inboxes to other ladies to kind of create something. If I see a guy that is following a lot of girls and commenting and sending those messages and is already in a relationship, dude, you're not serious. Like, I cannot take you serious. You are someone that I don't want to be friends with. So maybe not too much with social media, but more with real life. I felt like I was being distracted by attractive girls. And I thought that I will just have to live with that. As part of my nature, as part of being a man, that I will always find other girls attractive and I will just have to deal with that. So everything changed when I consciously decided that I'm not going to let that affect me, because I have bigger things to think about. I have bigger goals. And the bigger the goals, the easier it is to not let this distraction affect you. So if you are, like I was, in a phase when you are constantly distracted, that doesn't mean that you're weak. That doesn't mean that you're with the wrong person. It only means that your goals are very little and very insignificant. And it doesn't require you to be a better man. But the soon that you choose a strong goal, you will know, oh shit, yeah, I do want that, but I need to be this kind of man. So I need to change my behavior. That's what I did. I went to internet to figure out how can I edit my feed on Instagram. And you can actually tap and say not interested. Same thing with YouTube. So I spent like a full week just retraining, reprogramming AI, YouTube and Instagram. I don't care about this, I care about that. And then I start doing this content detox diet. And it was being amazing. I don't feel weak anymore. I don't feel doubt. I don't feel distracted. Like I'm in charge. But everything came after that decision, like this is what I want. It took me a long time. It's not like happened overnight. I try, I fail, I try, I fail. But as long as you don't give up and then you keep inside the kind of man you want to become, it's gonna come, man. It's gonna come eventually. And the closer, in my case, you get to God, the easier it is because you don't feel alone anymore.
I love it. Muy bien. Muy bien. Okay.
Oh my God, that's my favorite part.
So I'm the best at leading these interviews, aren't I?
You are, clearly.
No, but thank you so much. I really love this conversation. I love to feel us aligned on how we've built our strength against these challenges, how we stay strong in defending our own path, our own choice of life from all the opinions of other people. Yeah,
I love what we could do for this friend of yours. I hope that resonates with her, and just do the work. That's the thing. You have to do the work. So I'm sending you a lot of energy and strength and faith that you got this, and you're gonna blossom like a beautiful flower who will attract an amazing, powerful, focused man. Thank you for that. Muy bien.
Okay, so thank you. And keep sending us questions because clearly they're useful for us.
Yeah.
We love to hear from you. So thank you. Until next time.